everybody. Welcome to DK's Way. That's right. It's going to be a place where comedy, culture, and everything collide. Tonight, I'm very pleased. We got a hell of a topic. We're going to talk about the state of the black mind today versus yesterday. I know most of my shows be silly, and I be doing the most, talking that craziness. But today I wanted to address some things because I saw some things very disturbing this week. Kanye, Candace, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about all of it. We got to talk about that video they put out about voting. You can't vote if you ain't fucking. And spelled it with a V. Really? Really? Come on now. Where is the state of the black mind? Tonight, I am very honored and very pleased to have on my panel an original Black Panther, one of the LA Four, one of the people that said F the police before NWA was giving them the up the keister. That's right. We got Mohammad Mubarak in the building. Did I say it right? Mubarak. Oh, I was so focused on Bark because I be like, "What's up, Mohammed?" Because I know him as he's one of the dopest artists in the world to me. I'm very blessed to have him on here because his artwork is tremendous. But you never know who you run into. I've known this man for years and didn't know he was one of the original Black Panthers till I was at a film premiere for Black Panther, Revolution of the Vanguard. He on the panel. I'm like, what you doing here, Mohammed? You selling incense in this motherfucker? Paintings around here? He like, and then I start watching the movie. He was like, and I was just like, wow, you never know who you know until you ask questions. That's why people be walking past homeless people all the time, looking at them like, this nigga ain't shit. But that homeless person could be like a surgeon or a physicist. You don't know. They could have been like Einstein. You don't know who people are, so don't turn your nose down at people when you meet them. And don't look up to everybody you meet, too, because they could have came from somewhere you don't want to go to. But tonight on my panel, we getting into it. Also, on my panel, I got my ready, steady Ronald Cole in the building. I got Toni Taylor in the building. I got Rollow, the leader, in the building. He is a filmmaker and promoter of comedy. That's right. Let's get right into it. Man, we got to talk about it. Now, give me the first image. Let's talk about it. The first image is 1966, the year of change. That was the year of change. It was some hell of people born that year.
I was born that year.
I was already 4 years old.
66.
Oh, you old ass.
I was born that year.
Hey.
But 66 was the year of change. People don't realize this year was significant in so many ways because so many things changed in America, right? Give me the next image. Everybody was rocking their afros. That is Mohammed and his debonair self at a premiere. You had your Mac Daddy vibes going on. I see what you had on. Go to the next one. But it was the year of change. Everybody was rocking their afros, doing the Afro Sheen thing. Mohammed, I'm going to take you back down memory lane. That block should look very familiar to you. Go ahead and play that.
Is that what?
The audience can hear it and we won't. This is the actual moment the police came to kill you, right?
Kill us.
Get that mic for me, Mohammed. Hold that microphone and talk in it so people can hear you.
This was December the 8th, 1969.
Hold the mic up, Mohammed. 1969?
And that location where you see the people standing on the sidewalk right there, that was the
That's the
headquarters.
LAPD.
Yeah, that's the LAPD. First time they ever used a SWAT team, and that was our Southern California Black Panther headquarters.
Wow.
And they came in at about 4:30 in the morning to try to knock the door in. They didn't realize that they were going to be in a ferocious battle that lasted 5 hours.
Wow.
And some of these guys that you see right there, that's Wayne Farb. And that's Peaches.
Peaches, they call me Peaches too.
Yeah,
She got
she's
that look.
a former military person.
Yeah, Peaches told them, I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm still alive.
Yeah.
5 hours, y'all had a shootout
Wow.
with the police.
Yes.
Wow.
That had to be the most horrific yet victorious moment in your life. Like, you not just gonna take me like that.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a build-up to that point. 1969 was the year that the FBI was cracking down nationwide on the Black Panthers. From New York to L.A., from Seattle down to Texas, Chicago to Philadelphia. Wherever we had a Black Panther chapter, they were cracking down on us because they knew that we had guns. And we weren't afraid to shoot back at them when they shot at us.
Right.
And we were anti-police. We were anti-law enforcement. And a lot of people that came into the Black Panther Party at that time were people that came out of the military or the penitentiary
Straight from
or
Vietnam.
from the gangs that existed at that time or from the colleges. The students had joined the Black Panther Party. Because the movement, it was a revolutionary movement across the country.
Yeah.
That everybody who was against the war in Vietnam, it was a big thing, the war in Vietnam. And so a lot of people that came out of the military were coming from Vietnam into the Black Panther Party. And a lot of guys that were coming out of the penitentiary who had studied politics and black thought wanted to join the Black Panther Party.
Man.
And so coming into the Black Panther Party at that time, a lot of young people like ourselves were being taught how to become soldiers against the establishment. And we were arming ourselves to defend ourselves. We were the Black Panther Party for self-defense, to defend the black community against police aggression, police brutality, whatever was, you know what I'm
The world
saying?
was a very hateful place at that time.
And, you know,
Hateful. Let me get the next image, Francisco.
yeah. Now, that's Central Avenue, by the way.
That's the Marvin Gaye.
That's Central.
Yeah.
That's the Marvin Gaye painting.
Oh yeah, that's
Next
That is
one.
nice.
That's beautiful.
Yes, I had to show it. The next image. But
Who
yeah,
took that picture?
I don't know who did take that
It
picture.
was in my studio.
Oh wow!
Are you trained or
No,
just raw talent?
I natural talent.
Nice. That is
Yeah,
great.
he's dope. That's his Nipsey. Speaking of change, this man was making changes in his community like you guys were making changes in your community.
Yeah, in a
Nipsey
different
was
way.
an awesome person.
Yeah, he was.
And if he was alive during that time, I think he would have been down with the Panther Party.
I think so too.
His uncle, Reggie
Talk in the
Boutte,
mic for me, Mohammed.
his uncle was a guy named Reggie Boutte, was a good friend of mine. We call him Rasputin.
Rasputin.
Well, you know, back
Yeah.
in the 70s, when I was far beyond the Black Panther Party movement, I was managing a nightclub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, called the Disco 9000. During
Yeah, I
the disco
remember.
days.
Disco 9000.
After hours.
No,
No,
It
it
was
wasn't
the
after
disco.
hours.
the regular club, you know, with
Yeah.
selling liquor and up on Sunset Boulevard
Oh, wow.
in the 9000 office building
Wow.
across the street from the Roxy.
Yeah, and that was after.
The top floor
Wow.
of that building was a nightclub. And I was the manager of that club.
Okay.
I remember that club vaguely. I wasn't old enough to go to it, but I remember seeing it in some movie. Like they
There
showed
was a
little
movie that
clips.
we
Yeah.
made called Disco.
Disco 9000.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
okay,
say that.
okay, that's
Yeah.
what it was. All Next
Wow.
image. See how small the world is? Wow.
But that was,
That's his work too. You do a lot of innovative people, I noticed that, but I mean, your history kind of says where your art goes into. You got Malcolm, you got Martin, you got Stevie, you got, these are men that make change.
Yes.
If you listen, Marvin Gaye is timeless. You listen to his music today, his music transcended what y'all do to what the new movements are.
Yeah, see, a lot of people need to understand what was taking place in America in the late 60s, coming into the early 70s, and everybody was against the war.
Yeah.
So it was a big political rebellion against anybody that was for the war in Vietnam, because the war in Vietnam was just like that.
Some bullshit.
You know what I mean? Muhammad Ali took a stand against
He went to jail.
into the.
No, he didn't go to jail. He almost went.
No,
No, he
Muhammad
did.
went to jail.
He went to jail.
For how long?
5 years.
No, he didn't. He didn't do no time. But
They were
Arrested
trying to.
him, but he didn't do time.
He appealed.
Right.
He was out on bail on appeal and fought his case until the Supreme Court overturned it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, you
But
learn
he
something every
was, he was
day.
ready to go though.
Yeah, he
Oh,
ready
yeah,
to
he
go.
was ready to go. Yeah, he
They
was
took
gonna do
his
the time.
boxing license from him.
I remember that.
For 3 years.
Okay.
So
I
he
knew
didn't
something
fight.
was some years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
messed up.
but,
Let me
yeah.
get the next one. Francisco.
See, that's Will Stafford and Bernard Arafat. And we were all about the same age around that time.
Like 17,
17, 18, 18, and
Babies.
The guy in the flak jacket,
Uh-huh.
he's one of the SWAT team members. They were just introducing SWAT
Wow.
when they did that to us.
So they
That was
tested.
the first time they used the SWAT team.
Y'all were the guinea pigs.
December 8th, 1960.
Now let me
And it
ask you
was-
this. Did you guys do prison time behind this?
There's several people that did. There were a total of 12 Panthers in that building. And the lead up to that event, it was like months and weeks leading up to what happened. The police did a dry run about 2 weeks before they actually came in there. And they did it. They closed 41st Street and 41st Place on Central Avenue down at about 6 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, wow.
And they were about to raid our headquarters at that time, but it was rush hour traffic, a lot of people walking up and down the street. They knew from information that they were getting from informants that they were paying that were in the Black Panther Party.
It's
what we had-
always one
It
of us.
is.
What we had inside the building. Well, we were Geronimo Pratt, who had become the leader of the Southern California chapter after Bunchy Carter got killed, was he did 2 tour duties in Vietnam. So when he came and became a Panther, he knew everything about military and tactics, and he passed all of that down to us. And we fortified that building with sandbags. We put sand in the walls. We knew they were coming. We didn't know when.
Right.
So we just felt that. And that dry run that they did 2 weeks before, they called it off after about an hour because they knew that it was going to be a lot of collateral damage if they did it at that time. So they came back 2 weeks later at 4:30 in the morning. And the reason why what prompted that whole thing, we had these loudspeakers outside of the headquarters on the sidewalk with Eldridge Cleaver's speeches being and they were loud, and people.
They hated that.
And police came in there one day, and when you walk into the office, there's 2 office desks when you walk in the office, and an officer of the day who's assigned at the desk for people that want to know about the Black Panther Party. That person who was on duty at that time, a guy named Duck,
He was assimilating the
Duck
information.
pulled a gun on the police when they came in there to tell us to turn the music, turn the loudspeakers down.
High-headed.
And so when they left, they came back with a search warrant.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Next image. That's crazy.
You know, there's a film, The Spook Who Sat by the Door, and the film goes like this. The guy goes to the army, he goes to the CIA, and then he comes home and then teaches
That's
the brothers to go back against the man. So
Yeah.
that would kind of remind me of that.
Now let me ask you this: you guys are the reason we have so many programs. People don't know this about the Black Panthers. I was one of these kids that was hungry going to school sometimes.
Yeah.
Black Panthers made sure we ate every day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm old enough to have been fed by some Panthers.
Free breakfast for school, too.
Yeah, they did it for well into the 70s before it kind of dwindled all the way off.
And
They did it, and then the city took over the school
The
program.
government implemented it into their, and not just the city, but the federal government got behind this whole concept and, you know, made something legitimate out of something we created.
Yeah, black people for black people.
Because we were serving the people.
Yeah.
Our thing was to serve the people, not only to defend them with guns, but to give them programs, free clothing, free medical clinics.
Yeah, give me the next one, Francisco.
And so this was all part of, and what you got to understand, this was all part of the black movement. What
That's
you look
why I
at,
put this. A lot of people don't
the
know.
consciousness of everybody wanted to be proud of being who they were.
Right.
And the Black Panthers spawned this kind of commercial. I remember this commercial. It was poetry. These people, you guys remember this commercial, Penny? And friends, yes.
That was the Johnson Beauty Product Company,
Right, owned by a black man.
owned by a black man.
And this is because of Don Cornelius wanting
Right.
his own advertisement as a black man because of the Black Panther movement. Next image. A lot of people don't realize how much the Black Panthers did. We wouldn't even have our own hair care products if it wasn't for y'all. Next image. The free clinics, like the sickle cell clinic. There we go,
That's-
Bobby and Huey.
That's Huey and Bobby at the original Black Panther headquarters in Oakland
Yeah.
before they raided it.
Now that was sad what they did to Huey, and they kept throwing Bobby in jail. Bobby came out, started running for political offices, but they kept finding a reason.
They had a diabolical plan to destroy the Black Panther. And that plan involved drugs.
Cocaine.
Yeah, but they flooded the whole black community
Yeah.
with blood.
Yeah.
with drugs.
Everybody
in
was
order
heroin.
to get everybody mind and soul off the movement. What better way to do it than to get everybody discombobulated?
Carrot and stick.
Okay? And at the same time, they're paying people to provide information.
Within the party.
Informant.
That's hard.
Like the one that set up
And-
Fred Hampton.
And people that were not just paid informers, undercover FBI agents would become members of the Black Panther Party.
Wow.
See what I'm saying?
Infiltrate. Next image.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, where were they there? That's when they had,
That was down south.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was down south.
Yeah.
See, the Black Panthers just went everywhere. Everybody. That's why
Wait.
J. Edgar Hoover hated
Oh,
them
yeah.
so bad.
Because
Next
they knew
image.
we had guns and we were organized and we were political.
Yeah.
And
'Cause that's bold
and
to
like
carry a
I
gun.
said, like I said,
Yeah.
It's
a
some
lot
niggas with guns.
a lot of us came from the gangs and from the prisons and from the military.
Right.
And when you come into the Black Panther Party as a new person, you had to go through 2 months of attending political education class every week for 2 months. And we studied from Mao Zedong's Red Book,
Wow.
quotation from Chairman Mao, and any other book that was politically education. In order for you to be a bona fide Panther, you had to go through that
That process.
2 months of political education. Once every week, you had to come down to headquarters and attend political education class.
Would you, in that lesson, would you learn how government worked?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what's
Now,
missing
do
right
you
now.
think that's what's missing in today's society with today's youth? They're not willing, like, okay, you have innovative men like this. James Brown, right before he cut that perm out and became real about it and had a fro. You know, he was black and he was proud after Martin Luther King got killed. He didn't get that way till he got killed, then he cut off that fro. It cut it off and got him a fro. And Don Cornelius was down with the shit from day
Let me
one.
tell you about James Brown. James Brown was down for black people.
Yes, he was. For the Panther
He was
Party
a fighter
especially.
and a representative of all that we stood for in his music, and he was multi-billionaire now.
Yeah, and you
First
guys, these
black
aren't
guy
random.
to have a Lear jet.
Yes.
Yes, you guys, these are not just random images. They all mean something to the Black Panther Party, because without these two men, the word wouldn't have spread even further. You know, the littlest things make the biggest differences. Go to the next image. Now, you guys had free clinics.
Yeah.
Sickle cell. My brother had sickle cell, and it killed him, I'm sure, during COVID, you know, having a sickle cell attack on top of COVID.
Yeah.
You guys were so innovative in the black community. Do you have any questions for him, Ron?
Wow, so where did I go? Yeah, the guns. I do have a question about the guns. Now, I noticed that in the pictures they're out in the open with the guns and everything. Now, were they able to? How mobile could they be, and how visual could they be out in the public with these guns?
Mohammed, was
In the
y'all walking down
beginning-
the street with guns?
In
Yeah.
the beginning, we were. In the beginning, when the Black Panther Party first got started, we formed the community patrols up in Oakland.
Okay.
Huey knew the law. Him and Bobby went to UC Berkeley, and Huey got a law degree. And Huey was able to, at that time, there was a law that permitted open carry.
Right.
A lot of black people didn't understand or even know about it.
Right.
And there was a lot of black people being harassed by the police, brutalized by the police up in Oakland and other places. But there, when the party first started, they would follow the police, and they had these patrols of Panthers who had guns in their car. Whenever they had walkie-talkies communicating with each other. Whenever they saw a brother getting stopped by the police, they would go right there to the scene, get out the car with their guns in the open, and stand at a distance and watch the police and let the police know that we watching you, how you treat this brother. This went on for a long time until this senator named Mulford put a new bill on the table to eradicate the open carry situation.
Now, the laws changed again. People could carry again.
Right.
What you thinking about that in California with these imbeciles we got running the streets right now in these skinny pants? You know, they black, but they ain't got no culture.
But no consciousness. You got a lot of these youngsters with guns, and so many guns out here in the street in the hands of people that are shooting each other with the guns and not going against the establishment with it. And as long as that continues to happen, there's no threat.
They don't have
To the
balls
government.
when it comes to the establishment, but they got balls to shoot the man next to them.
Yeah.
But they don't have balls to do what y'all was doing.
No.
Go back, go to the next one. I'm sorry, Francisco. Yeah, they don't have the balls to do what y'all was doing at all.
I think
Now,
the
this
guns.
is the artwork, and this was your
nice.
slogan, power to the people.
Oh,
I
power
have
to
that
the
on my
people.
Instagram right
Yeah,
now,
power
power
to
to
the
the people.
people.
Because that's how I feel about everything.
The
You got
artist-
something to ask him, Toni?
The artist that did that art is Emory Douglas.
Emory Douglas.
and he was the minister of culture of the Black Panther Party.
Oh, wow.
The Black Panther Party had a central committee.
What does the
and,
Minister of Culture do?
The minister of culture was in charge of the images and the art that came out of the Black Panther Party to represent what we were all about and to send a message to the people through art.
Organization's bananas.
Now let me ask you this. So if y'all was doing that then, the art didn't have no women with their boobs half showing,
No, you had women
ass cheeks,
you had
no
women
twerking.
holding their babies with rifles on their shoulders.
That's what I'm talking
Because
about.
we felt like we were part of a revolutionary movement that had coalition with other movements around the world. We felt like we were revolutionary.
You guys were revolutionary.
The person that created the power to the people, was that the same person that created the pig?
Emory Douglas did that.
Yeah, the pigs.
He
Were
created
you
all
Name
of
the pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pig.
huh?
Were you painting back then?
A little bit.
Okay, you were just
I was doing photography for the Black Panther Party.
you were
Here
you were
in
the
Los Angeles.
photographer.
Yeah.
All those iconic images you guys see were taken by Mohammed. Go to the next image, because this artwork is phenomenal. Emory was dope.
Emory is dope. He's
Yeah.
still
Oh, he's
alive.
still
He's
alive.
still
Okay.
with us.
That's dope.
I think his work
And you
was
see
in
the black
museum
woman in the
a
background?
I
about
think
a
it
year
has
ago.
been in a
You see the
Yeah.
black woman in the background?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the kind of image that Emory was creating.
That's dope.
A
To
strong
show you
black
that
woman.
black women and black men were fighting together against oppression or against
Revolution
inequality.
in our lifetime.
Yes.
Next image. That's so dope.
You see,
Now, what do you think about
Hey.
the
Olympics
state?
is 69.
Yeah, 19 Olympics.
68.
that's 68.
68. They put up their fist in the air.
They were
like,
bold to do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They were really bold because they knew what was going on across the country. That this black movement,
And they were in
That-
solidarity with you
Yeah.
guys.
exactly.
I had a chance to meet him too.
Did
Which
you?
one?
Which one? John Carlos or
John
Thomas
Carlos. John
Yeah.
Carlos.
Oh,
Is he from out here?
I met him 2 months ago. He's a close friend of my dad's. Came
Oh,
to the house and I
wow.
took a picture with him.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah, he's
blessing.
amazing.
I know that white man, like, I'm just standing here. in my room.
You're right. Yeah, yeah.
What country he was from?
He probably from a country where they like black people.
Probably.
Next image. Like, I don't know why they have fists in the air. We don't do that over here. That's more of the morning food program.
the free breakfast school.
Yes,
too.
see, you guys had Latinos
And
in your
let me share this
Because I
with you
noticed
all.
that straight here.
Let me share this with you all. We were not anti-white or anti-brown. We were all about black people and people who were being oppressed.
Power to the people.
And we formed coalitions with other groups, white, brown, and Asian. You know what I'm saying? And to fight with our movement.
Right.
And that's why you see in some of these images you see white people who were college
Latinos.
students who were. There were other revolutionary groups like the Students for a Democratic Society, white groups who were armed and fighting against the system with guns.
Yeah. What do you think about it? Like, okay, so you guys were fighting the system then. What about the system now? Do you see how this world is? I mean, the police are still doing the same shit they were doing back then.
But
They're still killing black people.
But here's the dilemma that we face right now, the challenge, should I say. We don't have no consciousness to unify each other against all of that. And as long as we got ourselves under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and we're having problems economically, and our focus is not on trying to overthrow the system, to change things, what do you expect?
Right. You got to have a solution. There has to be a solution. Next image. Now, that's the troublemaker right there. He's the one that came after y'all, said murder them all.
And he had been around since the 20s.
Yeah, I mean, look at his neck. If I look like that, I'd be mad too. But I mean, you can't just be mad because you look like that, and because you hiding your homosexual tendencies from everybody. Because I read some stuff where dudes like booty, you know, and that's his preference. But
that dude has so much information on so many people in power
I know.
that he was able to bend the government to his will.
Yeah.
Like literally, like so he started out going after communism in the 20s, just like he said. There was a big explosion on Wall Street, one Wall Street, and the
Depression?
before the depression, the concrete still has the holes in the wall in downtown Manhattan, Wall Street, and he formed the FBI because of that.
Well, now he didn't form the FBI. The government had formed what was back then called the Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah,
Bureau of Investigation,
it wasn't the
right,
FBI
right.
yet.
It became the Federal Bureau of Investigation when he became the director of it.
Yeah.
And the United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Okay, so he worked under the Attorney General,
Right.
which runs the department, the Justice Department.
Right.
And before they cracked down on us, they were cracking down on anything that was against what they stood for.
But they
had
They
that
infiltrated
task
the
force.
Nation of Islam back
yeah.
in the 50s
Yeah.
through the same counterintelligence operation that they used against us.
Spy tactics.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back because I want to finish on this Edgar Hoover stuff. I got some actual documents this fool had.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to get into a little something else before I close out the show. We'll be right back in 2 minutes on DK's Way. Y'all stay tuned.
So it says here that you're suing for 50% custody and that you're a, quote, great dad. What kind of a dad could a black... What kind of a father are you? Why would I believe that?
I mean, I do it all. I do it all, y'all. I'm a super dad. I mean, super dad. I'm talking about Batman dad, Spider-Man dad. You understand what I'm saying, Yana?
Excuse me, your hors d'oeuvres. Can I say something?
Well, Super Dad, I'm going to consider that photo abuse of the children because they were too close to the barbecue grill.
I read my baby's bedtime stories in bed.
Do you expect for me to really believe you read to the children?
Your officer, can I say something?
I'll let you convict him in a second.
This is preposterous.
What was that word?
Preposterous.
Well, preposterously, hand over your credit cards.
He needs to hand over his EBT, Green Dot, and Netflix codes, too.
Oh, he has Cash App, does he?
How am I supposed to pay my rent, my bills? How am I supposed to get to work?
You need to quit those little jobs anyway and stop trying to go to school to be a doctor.
This is preposterous.
Well, it's not my fault you weren't on your A game. So, hand over the house.
Preposterous. I'm getting older, and she's getting younger with my money.
Yes, well, I'm going to consider that compliment to her as abuse. Hand over your driver's license and your car.
Yana, please. What about me?
I don't want that old car. I need a brand new 2035 model.
And the shirt off your back, sir.
What else is y'all gonna take from me? The tattoos off my skin? Damn, that's cold, Yana. I mean, do I ever get to see my kid?
Yes, now, it says here that she has 3 children, and they're all yours.
And Mr. Wong's.
Why?
At least Mr. Wang's feet don't stink after working 18 hours.
Why?
Who's Mr. Wong?
Just look at these two. You can tell they ain't mine.
Well, I'm gonna make you pay child support for all 3 anyway. Case dismissed.
Why?
This is Father's Time for A-Game TV. Looks like they gave him the Kanye Cosby. Wow. Could you tell us just what happened in there to you today, sir?
I feel 60 years older. I really need to get on my A game.
Come on, y'all, let's go get you a new daddy.
You should try A-Game. Yep, it's an all-natural supplement that'll help you get your energy, go back in there, and win.
I feel great again. I feel like myself. I feel like I'm on my A game.
A-Game will keep you out of custody court.
No, it won't.
Okay, maybe it won't, but it sure will give you the natural energy and vitality you'll need to stand up under the pressure.
Welcome back to DK's Way. If you're just tuning in and you have questions for me, you can always email me at d_impress@yahoo.com. Tonight's guest, I got one of the original LA4 Black Panthers, Mohammad Mubarak. And also next to him, I've got Ronald Cole. And next to Ronald, I got Toni Taylor. And next to Toni Taylor, I got Rollow, Theleader. And you guys, please, if you want to Cash App anybody, you're welcome to. If you want to follow us, our information, I'm sure, has passed over the screen. Just follow us on Instagram, Yahoo, Twitter, all that good stuff, whatever we got. Now we're going to get back into this. We left off on J. Edgar Hoover. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the black state of mind yesterday versus today. Yesterday, they had something to fight for. They cared. This man was trying to kill everybody. I mean, everybody. Anybody of skin color, anybody against the system. It's because he looked like that. Next image. Now, let's get back into this. J. Edgar Hoover was the leader of the FBI, and what he did, he had these documents where he talked about killing him some niggas. You know, he did stuff like that. That's how they got down back then. You know, they just blacked out what they didn't want you to see. It said Black Panther Party, I'm sure, biggest day. Next image. Now, this is Fred Hammond. He was the Chicago chapter leader, right, Mohammed?
Fred Hampton.
You got your mic? Yeah.
Fred
you
Hampton.
got Hampton. Yeah,
Fred
Fred
Hampton.
Hampton.
He was the chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party.
And they murdered him in cold blood,
Yeah.
like they tried to do you guys
Yeah.
at 4:30 in the morning. They
Yeah.
want to wake you
and,
up.
And they killed him 3 days before they raided our headquarters. And it was
Wow.
part of a national campaign to destroy the Black Panther Party. The year of 1969 started off with them killing Bunchy Carter and John Huggins at UCLA. And throughout that whole year, that whole effort was to destroy the Black Panther Party nationwide. And it ended when Fred Hampton got killed in Chicago as they raided his apartment. And then 3 days after that, they raided our headquarters in Los Angeles.
Now, see, that's crazy how they come in at 4:30 in the morning. If we go back in history, when black slaves got free and started their own businesses in places like Rosewood and let's say Cleveland, you know, we can just name the cities that they tried to destroy and
Black Wall
genocide
Street.
black people. But they always do it. They attack, and I mean, you know who they is, the ones that kill. No matter your color, if you're wearing a uniform or a suit, you know, they come in at 3, 4 in the morning. They want to burn. Even the KKK came to burn people's houses down in the wee hours of the morning.
They were in the
Military
bed.
tactics.
Yeah, they
Catch
want to
you when
catch
the
you
guard is
sleeping.
down.
Yeah.
You ex-military, you know
That's
that's
catching
and
your guards down.
y'all was ready because you was military trained.
Yeah, by people that were leaving the military to become Panthers.
So they was used to sleep deprivation already.
Everybody wanted to be a part of the movement,
Right.
the Black Panther movement, because they saw that the Black Panther Party at that time was the vanguard of all the other groups that existed,
vanguard
meaning that
of
we were
the
out on the front line,
Right.
you know, willing to pick up guns and go against the police.
That's crazy. Now go to the next image for me, Francisco. Because let me see the whole image. That is Fred Hampton.
That's Fred Hampton.
Look how they're smiling.
Like
they're
they got,
smiling.
like they got a bear on, or
Like they just-
something on safari.
Well, you
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
trophy.
gotta understand something too. Fred Hampton really was creating a lot of buzz in Illinois and Chicago,
He could have been a president.
and was really trying to create and did a lot of. he made a lot of noise. And was very serious about what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And Congressman Bobby Rush, he was Deputy Defense Minister under, with Fred Hampton. And, the impact that killing had on everybody was just devastating, man. Because
It was cold. It was cold.
Yeah.
And do you think that Eldridge Cleaver had a lot to do with the downfall of the Black Panther Party?
No, I think that and Eldridge was the most prolific of all the leaders.
Because everybody's had their about him.
Well, when he came back into the country and his whole political thought went in a different direction, that's when people started, saying these things and thinking those things about him. But Eldridge wanted to, and the FBI, they knew that if the party split up and you had leaders like Huey become intoxicated on drugs, it wasn't going to be no more party. And, they caused a split between Eldridge and Huey in the way that they wanted to do things. Huey wanted to get away from the guns after he got out of the penitentiary. All the money that had been raised while he was in the joint put him in a position to live a certain opulent life that was far away removed from what we were talking about doing. And Eldridge, when the Panthers in New York got expelled by Huey, and Eldridge came to their defense, that was the beginning of the split of the Black Panther Party.
Wow, go ahead.
I'm from New York, and I remember the Panther Party when I was a kid, the breakfasts and all that. They had a location on Lenox Avenue. I think like 118th Street, 119th Street, something.
21 Panthers got arrested.
Okay, so why they had a big shootout
for conspiracy to blow up police precinct in New York.
Oh, 32nd
Tupac's mother, Theni, was one of those Panthers. And they stayed in jail and fought that case for 2 years. And they ended up getting acquitted. And during that time that they were fighting that case, there was so much money raised for them. And when they got out of jail, they went to Huey and asked him what's happening with the money. Huey didn't like them coming at them, and Huey just made himself to be the supreme leader of the Black Panther Party, and decided to expel all of them. And when Eldridge heard about it, he was in Algeria, because Eldridge had established the international section of the Black Panther Party in Algeria. Huey and Eldridge were miles apart on this issue. Eldridge felt like it was unjust for him to kick out all those Panthers.
Right.
Eldridge came to their defense.
Okay. Because I was confused about that. Toni, go ahead. You had a
So, yes, I have a question. How long did you actively serve as a Black Panther? And then the second one is...
October 68 till September 1970.
Okay. And
by that time, the Black Panther Party had split up in two.
Okay.
And those people that wanted to stay with Huey, Huey decided to close all the chapters down and told everybody, if you want to stay in the Black Panther Party, come to Oakland.
Okay.
And everybody that was functioning in other cities, they were no longer
active.
Oh, wow.
And he was
and Eldridge came to the defense of all of them. And everybody that followed Eldridge, including Geronimo Pratt, that group morphed into what was to become the Black Liberation Army.
There was some of them.
The BLA. Assata Shakur, who was down in Cuba, was a former Panther from the East Coast. and she became a member of the BLA.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Angela Davis? While you
Yes, but not while I was in the Panthers.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And Angela Davis was never a member of the Black Panther Party.
Right, but she
Yeah.
She was
but,
a member of the Black communist group
Right.
called the Che Lumumbas.
but she was blamed, right,
Was
in
that
regards
with
to the
Sophie
guns and to the court.
Marin County Courthouse.
Yes, the courthouse.
Because Jonathan Jackson, who was George Jackson's little brother,
Yes.
he was Angela Davis' bodyguard.
Okay.
And he had access to a lot of guns that they had
Yeah.
with the Che Lumumbas. And these three brothers were going to court in Marin County behind a prison guard that had got stabbed or something.
Wow.
And Jonathan went in there to get these brothers out of jail. And they grabbed the judge and the
Yeah,
prosecutor and the court reporter as hostages.
Yeah.
And his effort was to try to get his own brother out of jail by doing this.
Wow.
And they
And
were
the
blaming
guns that he had with him, once he got in the courtroom, he started giving the guns out to the inmates who were on trial. And they tried to escape.
And they were blaming her, right? That supposedly she had
Because the guns were registered.
registered, right? Yeah.
Let me get that next image. Man, these cops, I couldn't believe they were so.
Oh, jeez.
Now we gotta talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Candace.
now
We
who
gotta
is,
talk about the state of the black mind.
who is the young lady right there?
You know the
That is
Candace?
Owens.
Owens.
She's always the one supporting everything Trump say,
Oh,
the
I
white
see.
Who's that
man
with her?
say. That's
That's
Kanye
Kanye.
West.
Oh, God.
Kanye West designed these shirts.
Of course.
Kanye.
Kanye designed these
Kanye.
shirts and wore them to the fashion show, Fashion Week in Paris. She's looking
that's
at now.
horrible.
Look, I'm about to read their body language because I'm a bitch like that. She's leaning away from him,
Yeah.
but her hand is holding him.
And she's
And
smiling.
she's looking at him smiling like, I can't believe we're doing this. All the white people are going to love us.
Yeah, she looking like she's saying, "Ooh, ain't they pissed
Oh,
off?
my God.
She looked like she
Ain't
liked
they
him.
pissed off?"
Like
That's what I was thinking.
Didn't you know?
No,
She looked
that
like
body
this.
language, she loves
She
her
looked
white
like-
husband, trust me.
Well, I know.
With
I heard
his
that
chick,
he
so.
said that the slaves
Yes,
were
It
It was a choice. Yeah.
yes.
like,
what he
nigga,
said.
please.
That's the one that would have sold us out while we were escaping
Come
to meet
on.
what
Yes,
happened.
He would have been an
the one
informant.
saying,
Exactly.
those slaves over there. You can get that
He would have been in the
tribe
Black
over
Panther
there.
Party pointing things out. That's that dude.
No, he would have been the one during the slave trades going, yo, brother, over here. I have a whole colony of people I don't like over there. He would have been that
Horrible,
slave.
man.
First of all, a lot of people don't realize
I know.
that the slave trade in Africa was propagated by a lot of the tribal kings who were doing business with the Europeans.
Like him. He would have been one of them.
And have you seen the new movie?
The Woman
Woman
King.
King?
Woman
Yeah.
King,
Go see
yes,
that
it's
movie.
amazing.
Go
It's
see
dope.
that
You
movie.
gotta
Woman
see it.
King.
You
I don't
gotta
want to give
see
any
it.
secrets
Go-
away.
No,
You guys
don't.
watch
Go
it.
But
see
it's
that
amazing.
Woman King. It's a good
Go
film.
to the next image.
Yeah,
Let's get
yeah, I
these
know the story
clowns.
about it.
Oh,
I haven't
man,
seen the
come
movie,
on.
I know the story.
Speaking of the clowns,
Oh my God.
now this is the same black man
stomach
that
is like-
dyed his hair blonde, stood there with Trump, but you made White Lives Matter shirts because you said Black Lives Matters is a joke.
Oh, Lord.
Black lives do matter because white people kill black people and the police kill black people on a regular basis. There's no color. in
It ain't
police
something that just
They're
happened.
all
Like a
blood.
father to him.
They've been doing this forever. They've been killing black people forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Ever since, I mean,
Here's what makes it worse now, though, is that there are black people that refuse to take note and knowledge of what it is, what the struggle is. They don't have any understanding of the laws. Like you guys took the chance, the opportunity to learn what you had to do so you can accomplish something. It's weird to me. It's crazy to me that in this day and age, we have more access to information than any time in history,
Ever.
and we choose to pick the bullshit. And I just can't understand that.
That man don't like your black ass.
Come on
Not at
now.
all. Not at all.
I guess he thinks because he's got a lot of
Lots
resources.
of money. Yeah.
That's all he cares
Yeah,
about.
he
That
can-
dude, that's all he cares about is money.
Yeah,
Go to the next
Completely.
one. Because that look in his face, Trump ain't even looking in the same camera. He looking like,
Right.
I got next to the Trump master.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
really,
him
if he
wearing-
really knew how much Trump did not like black people,
Come on.
He don't care.
Come on.
And this is the same man that said George Bush don't like black people during Katrina. But then yet
Yes,
you support
exactly.
somebody who grabs
You know why?
vaginas.
I look at
That
him
was
as
the thing.
he's a clown. He's a clown.
He is a
He's a
clown.
clown. He's a clown.
Get the raccoon off my
Whatever
screen,
happens.
please. Next image.
Okay.
Now let's talk about brothers that talked about something
Yeah.
that's in this generation. Who could have been a leader if he wouldn't have been
Tupac.
slain? I think Tupac was well on his way to making a big 360 before he got killed.
Yeah, I just hate that it all ended up like that. And, you know, it didn't have to end like it did.
Right. And his mom was a Black Panther.
Yes.
Right. Next image. Now, Black Lives Matter. What do you think the difference between them is and what you guys do?
Black Lives Matter movement. It has become a movement that now is so. Let me see. Let me think.
Because I don't see no after school programs. I don't see no feeding nobody, no help.
It's a legitimate movement, but
It's kind of like a fad
They
to some
have-
people, though, I think.
they have built a treasure chest
Money.
that enables them to do some things that's now under scrutiny.
Yes.
Well, it's under a
A
microscope.
lot of it.
Yeah,
a lot-
they
money.
spending habits.
Exactly.
They got a lot of resources.
Because the Black Panthers wasn't doing that. Y'all was taking every newspaper, every dime, every penny, putting it back into. You guys was using food stamps to feed kids.
We were trying to do something different.
Y'all was doing it.
But I mean, I'm all for. I've been to some Black Lives Matter rallies when Trayvon Martin got killed and a few things like that with me and Berg with Street Speak Radio. But when I was out there during the Occupy LA movement, I was like, they just making a mess. It was no organization, no, it was just black people. Black Lives Matter, but there was no, the core group, of course, they're organized, but then it's all these sects. Like, kind of like the Black Panthers had all these sects.
Yeah.
You know,
Have
what do
you
you
have you
think?
guys heard of this Africa Town group
No.
in Lamert Park?
Enlighten
There's a small group of individuals that call themselves Africa Town,
Africa Town. No. I
and
don't know that.
they want to be like Panthers,
Oh.
Okay.
but every Sunday they do an event in Lamert. They close the street off on Degnan and call it African Marketplace.
Are they like the Black Egyptians or no? Are they not the
Yeah.
The area where the
The Africa Town group does that event.
Okay, I go over there sometime for the exercise.
And they're getting a lot of support from the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of resources that they need to pay for permits and stuff.
Yeah.
They get from the Black Lives Matter movement.
Well, that's cool. That's something.
But
I never heard of it.
half of them are homeless. So they have some personal. Yes.
Johnny said, what they do look a little.
They look a little.
I told the leader of that group, his name is Brilliant. He has a lot of respect for me. And I try to give him wisdom on how to do certain things, right? I said, look, man, all this energy you're putting into this activism and you raising your fists about black power, this and black, y'all need to put that same energy into your personal life.
Well,
Right.
wow.
Because how you gonna teach
get a-
somebody else if you haven't learned yourself?
Right.
You gotta love self first before
Come
you
on.
can help me.
Exactly.
Don't get me to preaching up in here.
No, for real.
Next
I mean, you know,
Real shit.
I had to tell them the truth.
Yeah, that's real spit.
Because you don't even have a
Next
podcast.
Right.
Talking all this.
Okay, let's talk about this guy. Now, he's a comic now,
Yeah.
but he has a lot to say.
Uh-huh.
T.I.
He's
is
always
always
political.
on his soapbox.
Yeah.
And that's what I do love to listen to sometimes, but, you know, he's gotten in his trouble and whatever.
Right.
But his son, no, I've heard
I haven't heard it said.
But his son is out here wilding out. While you on your soapbox preaching about empowering.
How old is
black-
his son?
He's a teenager, right?
18,
Yeah.
19.
Yeah.
He's a youngster,
Yeah.
16, 7. He got young kids, but they out here throwing money in people's faces and fighting people, talking about how rich they are. But they don't work. They daddy rich, but they taking credit for what they daddy got. Check your house first before we can listen to you. I can't hear you until your house is in order.
Well,
And I was listening to him a lot until I started seeing how his kids talk to him. The daughter taking her to the doctor to see if she a virgin all
oh
on the
yeah,
TV
yeah.
show.
That's
It's like, okay, dude.
Really?
I
Yeah.
was listening to your political stand because he had a lot of great points during the, you know, when all these brothers was getting killed. I was kind of like, okay, T.I. might have something. His podcast was good. Then I saw his kids wilding out. Get your house in order, brother, before you can tell somebody else how to raise their child. That's like Bill Cosby talking all this stuff, and then he got in trouble. But get your house in order. But Bill got, you know, he did so much.
He did.
He even
He
took
did.
the girl he got accused for through college.
You can't take
Just
away
saying.
what he's done.
He
done.
donated to the Negro College Fund quite a bit.
He did.
I just hate that side of him came out like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, they always
It
have.
I'm gonna
hurt
tell you
me to
something.
the core because I love Bill, but it's like
But they have
I'm
to
not
take
gonna
Bill-
stop liking Bill for what he did. He served his
He's
time.
still
He
my
out.
man. I don't care what happens.
Yeah,
I'm just, you
he's
know,
out. Bill is out.
yeah.
Well, they
But
always
you
take
have
his
the
time.
R. Kellys.
Right.
Yeah.
You have these
That-
so many black men locked up right now. It was like a genocide attack on black men's sexuality and what they're doing behind closed doors. When this has been going on in Hugh Hefner's house, it's been going on. I don't even want to start naming the white people. Hoovers,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, they have to expose the black people.
Yeah, but you exposing all these black men,
Of course.
yet pushing, give me that next image, this kind of culture on us. You pushing this culture on the black men.
This,
You pushing a brother that has a shoe with Leviticus, the demon going to hell.
Well, why is he wearing fingernail polish?
Because he's gay.
Yeah, he's
That's
gay.
Lil Nas X.
yeah, he's
He's a gay rapper.
And that's
He
what they're
wears
pushing.
the pink cowboy outfit, and this is what
Who
they're
is that?
pushing on black
He's a
people.
little.
Oh, that's Lil Nas X?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what they're pushing
Oh,
on
okay.
black people.
you should show that video, man.
No, the video, Muhammad will throw his phone across the street.
Show that video.
The video got the little nigga sliding down the pole, stripper pole, and some
Didn't he
key
get?
boots.
Didn't he give Satan a lap
Yeah,
dance?
he gave the devil a
He
lap
gave
dance.
Satan a lap dance.
What?
Yeah.
Like he's pregnant.
Yeah.
He taking pictures pregnant.
I never seen so
With a
many
rubber
people
stomach
hating to
on.
want to be a man. What the
But
fuck
this
is that?
is the black man. Y'all fought
Well,
for our freedom,
Well,
and
no.
this is what
Let
it
me
is.
tell you all something.
Yeah, please.
When they destroyed the movement and they flooded the black community nationwide with drugs, every level of black life got affected by the drugs, from sports, entertainment, politics, the grassroots people. Everybody started, the minds got discombobulated. So a lot of people who had children could not raise their children. A lot of children were taken from black folk
Right.
and put in foster homes across the country. So you have a problem. What we're seeing now is the after effects of this deluge that had come across.
The crack baby era.
Yeah, and
And they want to
a lot of
remove
it-
the fathers out of the black fathers.
And so the children, half the people that you see are homeless were people who used to be in the movement who did not raise their kids. And a lot of these kids now who have parents that got all messed up on drugs, they don't know how to raise kids.
Yeah.
They were babies raising babies.
Yeah. My generation, the 80s, I can say really fucked America off. Drugs fucked America off.
Oh, it
but
did.
it wasn't us. We didn't go grow that shit. It was given to us to sell. It was given to us to put out there.
To consume and to sell, and it caused so much destruction.
Man, was that the last one, Francisco? Oh, yeah, he's another speaker.
Who was that? Oh,
That is
that's
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, we like Kendrick.
Yeah, we like Kendrick.
Now, Kendrick says a lot. He says a lot.
Okay.
But,
From Compton.
yeah, he's from
I'm
Compton.
from Compton.
But he's pushing the agenda, too, in a different way.
Is it?
Like, he's got, have you seen his new video where he's crucified like Jesus flying over water and carrying on him? Yeah, he's out there, too. It's like, you know, everything we turn on, from Drake to Kendrick Lamar, and I really liked Kendrick till I saw that last video. It was like, okay, because it seems to be a trend to push the devil on kids, to push homosexuality on kids, and to push
Illuminati.
to push all of that brainwashing crap on people. But that's the generation we're living in. That is our generation.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to think of solutions. And DK's way, we're going to be having some fun on here. I got some good people coming on, y'all. I want y'all to keep tuning in each and every week. Mohammed, what you got going on in your life right now? I know you got all kind of art shows. You know, I just had a little
I wear another hat, by the way. I write a boxing column.
Oh,
I
wow.
go to all the fights.
Where's your, you go with Sammy to the fights?
No, I don't go with Sammy. I mean, I cover boxing.
Okay.
And I've been around boxing since the early 80s.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali became a friend of mine.
Oh.
So when Crawford fight in November, you got the hookup, right? We can come.
Well, I don't know about that. I get a presidential for all the fights. And I write for EURweb.com.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I write a column called Ringside Update. Matter of fact, let me give you
Ringside update, you guys.
Hold on.
He about to give us the correct information. All right.
Web, yeah. For sure.
Yes, me too. I am a boxing fan.
Is that it?
Thank you.
Only babies, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was mine.
Okay. I'll take a picture of it. How about that?
That'll work.
Okay. But, so, do you have any art shows coming up?
Yeah, the Taste of Soul. Come to the Taste of Soul.
Yeah.
Were you at the Taste of Inglewood?
Taste of
I
Soul
was at the Taste of Inglewood.
is on Crenshaw for y'all that are visiting LA.
They have an art pavilion that set up at the Taste of
Yes.
Soul.
Oh, okay.
So
If someone wanted to commission you for a portrait, how would they go about doing that?
call me.
That is not-
You got my email and
Okay. All right.
I'm on Instagram too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can find him on Mondays too, where we do
At the
jokes
Improv.
at. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
On the Improv. No,
Oh,
Improv.
he's-
He's
oh.
Yeah, that's
on-
right.
I introduced you to
Yeah,
him.
that's right. You did.
Ronald Cole, what you got going on in your life this week?
What, this week, I'm just trying to keep a roof over my head. But y'all don't want to know about that. But right now,
Why you clenching your fist like that?
I don't know. I'm practicing for when I get home.
I
No.
called him yesterday. He said, I'm getting my heart checked. This woman's stressing me out. Run, Picada.
Oh, you wasn't supposed to say that. That's my ass when I get home.
I'm sorry.
Shut it,
I'm just kidding.
nigga. No, but anyway. Anyway, I don't have much going on. I do want to thank everybody that's watched my podcast. Toni was on it the very last one that we've put in the can so far, Make Me Laugh Mondays. I'm just asking people, go back, look at it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And we're gonna come back. I've got some stuff in the works. Make Me Laugh Mondays is on and popping. And last thing, Chateau, Comedy Chateau on the 22nd. Donnie's going to be the.
I tell him.
Yeah, you tell him.
Okay,
about that.
Tony Taylor, what you got going on?
What do I have going on? I'm just, I just still want to say, give a special condolences out to David Arnold's family.
Yes.
Yes.
I had a chance
again.
to personally go to the memorial on Monday.
Oh, you went. I
did.
couldn't go.
I did.
It
And
was
so,
in.
It was at the Directors Guild.
Yeah.
It was at the Directors
Yeah.
Guild.
It was nice.
So, just an amazing guy, amazing man.
He was.
Condolences to
Rest
his
in
family.
peace,
Rest in
David.
peace. Such a great guy, and I'm just this week I'm chilling. I'm like I said, just got back from Jamaica, so I'm still trying to recover.
Oh wow.
I see with some more earrings on. And what you got going on this week, Rollow?
I'm editing on my film, Hump Day Comedy. Hopefully that'll be released by Christmas Eve. Also, I have a play in mind I want to produce here in Inglewood. It's
Put me
called.
in it.
You want to be in it?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it after the show. It's called. I'm sorry, you just threw me. Whatever happened to?
Hey, those earrings are really clipping.
Oh, on the microphone. There you go.
So I got the play coming up, and then I got another comedy show I'm going to be filming going forward in 2023, February 2023.
Okay, y'all. So every week, right here, Thursdays, 8 p.m. I'm Donnie Keith. See you next week. Love you.
Thank you for having me.
Love you.
Bye.
That was great.
That was a good show. I had so many questions
I
to
know,
ask.
but we only have an hour. I'm trying to keep
And you're over